As the huge summer eShop sale comes to an end, Square Enix has out of nowhere launched a massive sale of its own for Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 with some of the lowest prices we've ever seen for their games, including deals on games that are still relatively new. Let's dive into it. Let's kick things off with some Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, is on sale for 40% off for the first time ever, and that discount applies to both the Switch and Switch 2 versions. This is a remaster of the classic PlayStation 1 tactical RPG, featuring an updated script and story, full English and Japanese voice acting, remastered graphics and soundtrack, and gameplay additions, like a new, easier difficulty option. On top of that, the original version of the game is included as well, so you can experience the classic release if you want to. Final Fantasy Tactics is considered one of the greatest tactical RPGs of all time, and it's a game that's earned a huge following over the years. This new version is arguably the best way to experience it. $30 is a steal for this. Oh, and for anyone who owns the Switch version already, there is a free upgrade to the Switch 2 version that is available. The Final Fantasy 1-6 Pixel Remastered Collection, which includes the first 6 Final Fantasy games, is 40% off during the sale, bringing down the collection to its lowest price yet on the Nintendo eShop. Personally, I've had a blast playing through every one of these games. These are fantastic versions of the classics, especially if it's your first time experiencing them. The updated visuals look great, and the quality of life improvements really help to smooth out some of the rough edges of the games by reducing the grind and making the games so much more enjoyable to play. If you're not ready to pick up the entire collection, each game is also available individually at 40% off. There's more classic Final Fantasy games on sale. Final Fantasy IX, the PlayStation Classic, gets a 70% off discount via the sale, and this matches its all-time low price from over a year ago. For $6.29 on the US eShop, it is pretty darn cheap to pick up from the sale. Hey, remember that July new releases video from earlier this month? Well, Final Fantasy X-10-2 HD Remaster is coming to Switch 2. And honestly, it's overpriced, especially considering the Switch version is on sale right now for $20 on the US eShop. If you're primarily a handheld user, well, with boost mode enabled, you're going to get the same exact experience as if you were playing the Switch 2 version. I figured I'd give the heads up here for maybe those who are considering picking it up. To round out the classics, Final Fantasy XII, the ZODIAC Age, gets a massive 70% off discount on the eShop for the first time ever, making it the cheapest it's ever been on the platform. And if you've only experienced the original US PS2 release, then you're in for a big surprise with this one, as there's a lot of changes and improvements included here. This is actually a HD remaster of the international version release that we never got back in the day. And that brings a ton of new additions and quality of life improvements that make this the definitive way to experience the game. Hey, this is where things get crazy. Final Fantasy VII Remake INTERGRADE for Switch 2 came out at the beginning of this year, but it already has a 65% off discount with this sale. It's only $13.99 on the US eShop. That's pretty insane. $14. That is nuts. I can vouch for this one. I really enjoyed playing this on Switch 2 earlier this year, and I've had a lot of fun with it. It's a very good port. It has all the INTERGRADE stuff, of course, and again, $14 is insane. If you like RPGs and you have a Switch 2, then this one is a must-get. But the next deal might be even crazier. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out literally last month for Switch 2, and Square Enix has already decided to give it a 40% off discount. What? Well, whatever, we'll just go with this, but yeah, $29.99 on the US eShop is crazy. If you've already played Remake, then yeah, make sure to hop on this deal. If you want the digital deluxe editions or the upgrades for the games, then those are on sale too. But yeah, you can get both the Remake and Rebirth for less than what Rebirth was going for 30 days ago at launch. The Octopath Traveler games get some big discounts via this sale too. The still pretty new Octopath Traveler 0 gets a 35% off discount, its biggest yet on the eShop, which makes it $32.49 on the US eShop. And that's both for the Switch and Switch 2 versions. There's a demo on the eShop for this one if you're curious. The original Octopath Traveler has been knocked down to $17.99 on the US eShop, a 70% off discount, its biggest discount yet. Additionally, Octopath Traveler 2 is back on sale for $23.99 on the US eShop. It's cheaper than ever to get into the series now. The next 3 Switch games are games that, through my backwards compatibility testing last year, have found to run better than ever on Switch 2. For example, Neo, The World Ends With You hits 60 FPS and it's locked on target when it's played on Switch 2. There's no frame drops from what I see. It looks great on that system. The latest sale gives it a 70% off discount for the first time ever. It's a good action RPG that some seem to have skipped out on. I highly encourage you to check this out. It's a really good game. And there's a demo on the eShop that you can check out if you're curious about it. If you like the demo, then I think you're very much like the main game. Trials of Mana feels like a brand new game when it's played on Switch 2. It gets boosted to 60 FPS from 30 FPS, and it's so much better for it. It also looks sharper and much clearer on the system too. Oh, it's so much better looking now. I mean, it was fine on Switch 1, but yeah, it's much better on Switch 2. If you've been curious about picking up the game, well, Square Enix has made it cheaper than ever, giving it a 70% off discount via the latest sale. It's just $14.99 on the US eShop. Finally, there's FANTASIAN Neo Dimension, which is 60 FPS when played both on Switch 1 and played through backwards compatibility on Switch 2. But the biggest difference here is the upgrade to loading times. The loading times are much faster on Switch 2. Which for an RPG that features plenty of battling, yeah, that's a big boost. That's a huge plus. The game has a discount of 60% off for the first time ever via the latest sale. So at $19.99, it's the cheapest the game has been yet on the US eShop. There's also a demo available for this one too, if you want to check it out. If you're curious about other Switch 1 games that run better on Switch 2, well, I actually produced an entire series of videos covering that topic last year. I'll leave some links to a few of them down below so you can check them out later. Tactics Ogre Reborn is a remastered version of the 2010 remake of the original game called Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together. It has high-definition graphics and remastered soundtracks, including some new tracks for it too, plus updated gameplay mechanics, improved AI for the enemy that make things tougher, and of course, there's multiple story paths. This means this game has a lot of replay potential. The Square Enix sale gives the game a 70% off discount, so it's $14.99 on the US eShop now. This means it's cheaper than ever to experience the classic tactical RPG. Finally, let's talk Dragon Quest. There's a lot of great deals for those games going on right now. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake gets its biggest discount yet, 35% off on the eShop. That's for both the Switch and Switch 2 versions. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake is back on sale for 50% off, so it's just $29.99 on the US eShop. While there's no direct Switch 2 version of it, there was a free update that did enable graphic options when the Switch version is played on Switch 2, including an option for 60 FPS support. I highly recommend enabling that in the options if you pick it up. Running at 60 FPS, it looks very nice. You can also save a little bit more if you buy the 2 HD remasters in a collection bundle that's on sale. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined gets a bigger discount than it had during the Dragon Quest Day sale, a 30% off discount. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined is pretty cool. It's a complete, well, as it says in the title, reimagining of the 7th mainline game. New visuals, a new soundtrack, events and story elements, and lots more. Even if you played the 7th entry before, be it on the original PlayStation or on the 3DS, this one is still worth checking out, as the reimagining is very different with the number of changes it has going on. So much so that it's very much its own thing. The Switch 2 version is gorgeous on the system. It's 60 FPS and it runs very smooth. There's a demo in the eShop that you can check out that carries progress over to the main game, so make sure to check that out if you're curious. Finally, the terrific Dragon Quest Day discount for Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince is back. It gets a 75% off discount with the sale, so the game is just $9.99 on the US eShop. That said, I do recommend opting for the Digital Deluxe Edition, which is roughly only $5 more, as it contains a bunch of DLC and makes it easier for you to obtain monsters that you obtained before, which in turn will allow you to merge monsters easier for stronger monsters. Plus, it will supply you with a ton of items to feed to those monsters to make them stronger. Additionally, the DLC includes a nice challenge mode that can put your monster taming skills to the test, and it's harder than anything you'll encounter in the main game. Anyway, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to check out the summer sale video. Most of the deals in that video actually end later today, so you only have a little bit more time left to capitalize on that sale. There's some pretty incredible deals in that one. I'll have a link to it down below so you can check it out. Let me know if you plan to pick up anything from the sale in the comments down below. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing with notifications turned on so you do not miss out on any future videos. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you soon with the next video.